This is my opinion.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy John Shaw. Let me adjust my mic real quick. I haven't did a video in a while, so everything's turned down. Let's see here. You probably gonna hear some humming. That's my air conditioner is right above me. I'm not turning that off for shit, so I just have to deal with it. Let's see. So it's been like a lot of controversy on Twitter, and some people made some videos about it. Between, let's say, Player Essence, OJ, depending on how you know him, Real Gamer 27, and Super Metal Dave, and a whole bunch of other people. It's a lot of back and forth going on Twitter about third party and their support for the Switch or lack thereof. I've listened to a lot of the guys. I didn't see Real Gamer 27's video. I think I'm subscribed to him. I don't know. Sometimes stuff gets lost in my subscription box because I subscribe to a lot of people and a lot of different YouTube channels and stuff, because that's where I mainly watch stuff at when I'm at work and stuff. So sometimes stuff get lost. Sometimes I see videos. Sometimes I don't. I just want to say that both sides are right and both sides are wrong, and both sides are only arguing a part of what the major big picture is. On regular Nintendo fans, on a lot of Nintendo fans, and I'm not so 100% sure what Real Gamer 27 stance is, because I didn't watch this video. But I probably should have watched it before I started this, but oh well, I'm just gonna go with what I've been seeing on Twitter. So a lot of people's stance is that third parties are actively trying to just not support the Switch, because they just want Nintendo to fail, such and such, blah blah blah. Now it's partly true and partly not true. Also, only thing on OJ's stance is OJ saying that because the games on the Wii U didn't sell well, they're waiting for a bigger install base, and which is partly true and partly not true. But it is a fact that the games on the Wii U sold poorly. That is a fact. Can't argue that. That is a fact. So there's no point in getting mad about that. That's just a fact. But he failed to go why those games are sold less on the Wii U, or why those games sold poorly. Some people think it's this misconception that Nintendo fans just don't like third party. No, Nintendo fans are just not like the rest of the fans on Sony and Xbox. They're not just ready to buy any old shit that comes out just because you put it out. That's something that I've noticed about Nintendo fans. They buy quality. They don't just buy everything that comes out, and they're not. It's like everybody else tries to treat them like they're stupid, and it's not how it is. It's not how it is. Like, just because that shit works on Sony and Microsoft, where you can just pump the graphics up and then put out a shitty ass fucking game and people buy it, that shit doesn't work over on Nintendo. Sorry, especially when you got we got a publisher like Nintendo who puts out quality. You can't do that shit and think you're gonna sell well. It's not gonna work. Nintendo fans aren't that stupid, and they don't just spend their money on anything. I mean, that's one thing you can give them. They don't spend their money on anything. They haven't yet been jaded by the graphics. What do you call? I want to call it the graphic needle. You know, the graphic crack. They haven't been hooked on that yet. So they haven't fallen into that trap of, oh, it looks pretty, so let me just buy it. You know, they haven't fallen into that trap. So you can't say that that's the only reason, because that's not the only reason. The thing is, those games sold poorly because those third parties supported them poorly, or they just didn't put any effort in it. A lot of those games were late. We're gonna talk about years late to 6-7 months late to I think the least of it was 3 months late. Those games were late. I think I want to say Black Ops might have been the only one that came out day and date, but I'm not even sure about that. That's too long ago. But those games are late, and also people fail to realize is Nintendo a lot of people are multi-console owners, so a lot of those games people played already because they didn't come to the system. They didn't come. They just didn't come. You know, so they played them already, and you can't come late to the party and then try to charge $60 for the same fucking game that's $20 over here. You can't do that. It just doesn't work like that. Nobody's that stupid. And you're not putting you're not putting nothing in extra. The graphics are worse. The frame rates are worse. And you're not going to support it in the future. And you can't think that gamers are going to sit here and spend $60 on your game and that's how you put it out there. It's just not going to work like that. So yes, of course, those games sold poorly. Because, like I said, Nintendo gamers are not stupid. Just the way it is. Granted, I bought a couple of those third-party games because I liked what they were doing on the Switch versus what they were doing on, not on the Switch, but on the Wii U versus what they were doing on the other consoles. For instance, Black Ops 1, I like the fact that I could use the motion controls. I also like the fact that I could see my map at all times on the gamepad and touch the spot to where I wanted to drop my my care packages and stuff like that. I like that fact. So that right there alone was enough for me to purchase it on the Wii U versus the other thing. Now, what I was upset about is the lack of support that they decided to put towards Black Ops or Ghost. I didn't get Ghost. I didn't get Ghost for the simple fact because they didn't support Black Ops 3. So that's why I didn't go buy Ghost. I went and bought Ghost on the PlayStation because that's where I wanted to get the DLC and stuff like that. They didn't support the Wii U with the DLC, so a lot of people were upset about that. Yes, that's important to people. People want to know that they're going to be able to play extra content and stuff and keep their game fresh, and know that these publishers and developers are going to keep supporting their game and keeping it fresh and keeping it working. People want that, and so when you don't do that, of course you're not going to sell. It's just simple. You're not going to sell. What else? And I think I talked about about the price. You know, you can't charge $60 for an old game and then it's the lesser version of the game. You just can't do that. That's not that, and that's why they sold poorly. It's not because Nintendo fans didn't want to play those games. It's just Nintendo fans aren't stupid. You know, and it's just like just as a game. I mean, just say Nintendo fans. All gamers should be like this. You shouldn't be that stupid just to buy that shit just because. And that's another thing that I have a problem with. What I don't know who said it. I forgot who said it. I don't know if it was OJ or anybody. I have a problem with this. Don't buy third-party games just because you want to support that game in hopes to get another game. Don't do that. Don't do that shit. That's bullshit. If you don't like that game that's out, then you don't fucking buy that game. Don't buy that game. Cause that's horse shit. Cause all you're gonna do is set yourself up for failure. Because now you're gonna buy this game that you don't even fucking want, and that other game that you hoping that you're gonna get may never even fucking come. And so now you're stuck with a fucking game that you don't even fucking want, and you lost money. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. I want Marvel vs. Capcom. Marvel vs. Capcom to come to the Switch. I want to play that on the Switch. But I'm not going to go out and buy Street Fighter just in hopes that that game comes to Switch. No, I don't want fucking Street Fighter. I rented it. I didn't like it. After playing Killer Instinct, Injustice 2, Tekken, and playing ARMS, I don't want to play that old ass fucking game. I just don't want to. You know, it didn't interest me. And I'm not going to buy that just in hopes that Marvel vs. Capcom comes out. No, if they want, I'm going to go on Twitter and I'm going to go onto their page and actively tell them that, hey, I want this game. That's what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to go buy your other game just for fucking shits and giggles, just to hope that you get this. No, it's not. No. Please don't start that practice. That's a fucking fucked up practice. Don't do that. That's why we are in the situations that we're in now, because of that dumb shit. Don't do that shit. Don't let these people, these publishers, these companies trick you into being fucking slaves. Don't do that shit. Cause all that does is lead you down the line where you'll buy any fucking thing in hopes that you'll get something else. Don't do that shit. That's bad. And Don't actively practice that bullshit. That's just straight up bullshit. So now, on the flip side to this situation, yes, they do want to wait for an install base. That's just because these publishers, they want to make the most money that they can. It's just how it is. They want to make the top dollar, as much money as they can. So 9 times out of 10, they're waiting on a bigger install base. Now, they don't treat other systems like this. We will say that, and I will tell the truth. They don't treat other systems like this because Xbox install base wasn't that huge, and they still supported it. Wii U had at one point in time had a bigger install base than Xbox. Still didn't get that support. Right now, the Switch has a bigger install base than the Xbox. Still not getting that support. But it is what it is. They even made the excuse that the some companies, the publishers, just made the excuse that the Wii U didn't have enough power, and that's why they didn't put the games on there. But then they will make GIMP down mobile versions of their games for phones or other mobile versions of the games for like the Vita. So there's a catch-22 to that. It's just what they want to do, and the bottom line is they want to make money. So yes, they're going to wait. Also, and this is the exact same reason why I never crucified the Wii U and never crucified Nintendo for their support. Games take time. Quality games take time. So yes and no, the possibility that they could be waiting because they're still making the game, that's a possibility. I'm not knocking that and saying that there's no possibility that's not happening. Just like for the Wii U, Nintendo didn't anticipate what was going to happen to them, so therefore they didn't have enough time to actively make their games. And then by the time that they did and understood the situation, is do we still try to fix a dead ship, or do we just put that support onto the next system? They decided to put the support on the next system. Listen, and now you see what's going on. We have a whole year full of games coming out every freaking month. That's what you get when you do that. So a lot of these games weren't just, all of a sudden they announced the Switch and now we making them. No, these games have been in development. I guarantee you that some of these games were supposed to be on the fucking Wii U, but now they're just on the Switch. It's just how it is. Games take time. At the least 2.5 to 3 years to make. If there's a real big game. If it's not a big game, then it might take 2 years, maybe like that. So just like for instance, you've seen God of War. We've seen God of War for the last 2 years. And that's when it was the first announced 2 years ago. But guaranteed, the rumors for that game starting development happened almost 3 to 4 years ago. So that game has been in development and it might have even been in development since the last game ended. Who knows? We don't know. And we're still not going to get that game till 2018. So, yes, sometimes these games, they take time. They do take time. But that doesn't say that you can't say what you're working on. You can do that. Now, granted, some of these companies may not have got dev kits. That's okay. But no work starts on the dev kit. Sorry, it just doesn't. It all starts on the PC. And then they start working on the dev kit to get the kinks out and everything like that. Everything starts on the PC first. They start it on the PC, they work it out, they get the little technical things out, then they put it on the dev kit and they work the shit out like that. That's how the shit works. You don't need a dev kit to start working on your game. You don't need that. So yes, there's some companies didn't get the dev kits till later on, but you can still say, hey, you know what? We're working on this game. NBA 2K, they said they're working on this game for the next year, 2K18. Okay, well, they said that almost 4 months ago. We'll get that at the end of the year. Okay, Capcom can say whether or not Capcom saying they're going to support the Switch, but what are you going to support it with? You can say that. Do you have plans of putting Marvel vs. Capcom on the Switch? You can say that. Let the fans know what you're doing. You don't have to even be started on it. Just say, yeah, it'll come. It's just going to be later. Just say it. Like the guy for the Dragon Ball Z guy. You know what I'm saying? He said it's not about power. It's not about that. It's just he wants, but they as he said, they want to make sure that it's a demand for it. You know, okay, I respect that. Fine. At least you're saying it's a demand for it. You're saying it's not out the possibility, and you're saying yes, it might be later than the thing. Even though we know you can work faster than that, but whatever. It is what it is. You said is a possibility. That's something, and that's what these companies they need to start doing. If you're going to support the Switch and you want these gamers to support you, you're going to have to actively say what it is that you're working on. Like for instance, Nintendo in this E3, they know us fans. We wanted Metroid. We've been screaming for Metroid, 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 more. We want it. So even though they weren't ready to show anything, even though they didn't have nothing that they wanted to show, they said, "Hey, we know you want it. Here it is. We're working on it. Just to let you know." Just like the other developer dude came out and said, "Hey, we know you want a real Pokemon game. We're working on the main Pokemon game. Just stay tuned." You know what I'm saying? That's what you do for your fan base, or for the people that are interested in buying your games or supporting your company. Let them know what you're working on. So, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. Both parties are arguing different parts to the bigger puzzle. And so it's no point in getting mad at each other. Y'all getting mad at each other and arguing and doing all this. It's no point because nobody's losing but you. So you have to understand it's a bigger piece to the puzzle. OJ's arguing on one side, these guys are arguing on another side, but the whole thing is y'all both arguing different parts to the same piece, and y'all got to actively come together and talk about that shit. You know, that just is what it is. But I will say this: do not buy games in hopes that you get another game. Don't do that shit. Just don't do that shit. That's bad. That's very bad. Don't do that shit. And whoever's promoting that shit, I don't know which one of y'all it was that said that shit. Don't do that shit. That's bullshit. Don't get in that habit. Don't fuck that. Don't fuck that shit. Don't do that shit. That's just stupid. Like that's like saying I should buy Titanfall 2 in hopes to get Battlefield the right way, or hope to get Battlefield on my system. No, fuck that shit. No. If I don't like Titanfall, then why would I buy that? You know, if I don't like this such and such game, why would I buy that just in hopes to get that? No, don't do that shit. Please don't do that shit. That's bad. I think that's all the points that I had to make on this. Yeah, I think that's all I had to say on this. That's it. It's just both parties have their points, and both parties are right, and both parties are wrong. And both parties are not explaining the whole situation clearly and the whole situation fully. They're just trying to bolster their side, but both sides are right. It's one big picture. But it's your boy John Shaw. Peace out.